And you know what? I don't want to sound too academic and too theoretical, but there is a certain principle that is a crime affordance principle. That when people are behind the computer or the laptop or the mobile phones we use, it creates a certain veil for them. And once there is a veil, they are empowered because no one can see them. Do you understand that? So they are very much empowered to do the wrong things. That is why a lot of the people who might go behind you and say a lot of things behind you, when they meet you, you can't even talk. Some of them are scared. They can't tell you in the face. Some of the lies they spread about you, they cannot say it in your face. But once there is a veil, they spread and feel free and spread and misbehave because they can afford the crime. And so that's the principle here, that social media or the digital media era creates easy access to anonymity. So people can hide behind accounts. The Ghana Crime Limited have been trying to look for those operating that account, and up until now I don't have that information. And it tells you how people are comfortably hiding behind such an account to do all the misinformation and fake news. And that empowers people to do that. And that's also some danger. The lack of gatekeeping. In the traditional media houses, before you put a story out there, it goes through all the gatekeepers. The editorial team, your editor, your sub-editor, all the people would have to go through and they do proper verifications and all of that. And that is why the Chef Smith case was a sorry state of the Ghanaian media. Because you should know better. They have all the verification mechanisms. But for the social media, who verifies what you write? As I've explained. Am I making some sense? Hello? Are you all here with me? Good. Then, the digital era, we are talking about the internet, the year 2000 up until now. Now the case is worse because of this man. Generative artificial intelligence. Don't joke. As I'm talking here, we can use AI to make me look like this. My mouth will move the way it's moving and I'll be saying something else. And deep fakes can use my voice and I'll be saying, perhaps I may even be saying Mahama is foolish or Baumia is foolish and all. And you hear, and it will be my voice too. And you see me say like that. Someone can just pick this video of a very different thing I'm saying and superimpose another voice on it. And that in itself, so we are getting into more and more dangerous, errors in the digital space. Very dangerous. And so this is even calling for a lot of studies in my mind. I'm asking myself, what are organizations doing, for example, if I go and pick the CEO of MTN, and I pick his video at an event, and I do deepfakes, and I change the video, I change the audio and all of that. How prepared is the organization to counter that fake news? Because already, fake news travels faster than authentic news. It travels faster. Altered images and all of that. That is what generative artificial intelligence tools are doing to us now. Now, what are the consequences of fake news or information disorder? Now we have said all of these things. We have said the categorization. We've said how important this conversation is in the digital era. What do you think are the dangers or the consequences of information disorder? Yeah? Look, please, if you come in and you don't talk, you give us back our snap. Yes. Please, who has the microphone? I need help. Yeah, so we want to know, what do you think are the dangers of information disorder?
One is wrong actions, people taking the wrong action because of fake news.
So people can take the wrong actions, right? Because of fake news. What else? Yeah. Good. I like that we're having new hands. Your brother would suffer. It can lead to job losses. And where people are not gainfully employed, it has a direct impact on the economy. And if I throw out a news item right now that dollar is lies. Look at some of the things I found in my study. That social media, okay, in the US, for example, the citizens were ready to confirm authentic information sources. When the issue comes from WHO, for example, they want to confirm that one. But when it is fake, they are ready to share. In US.
The next one is supposed to be like.
In Ghana, we were told on social media that alcohol and hot water were the remedy to the virus. Didn't you hear that? That, oh, this virus, shall they just get some alcohol and knock them off? It will go. And in the initial stages, a lot of people, so if someone dies out of this particular information, it is because someone sat in their room without any medical background, decided to create this information and put it on social media and get a lot of shares. So someone had died because of that. In Bangladesh, I found that people believe that God sent the virus to destroy bad people, and so if you're a good person, you don't have to care about the protocol. Just go about your thing. It is for the bad people. They are the ones who are dying. So what should we do as a young generation, a digital savvy generation? What should we do? Where should we go from here? The first thing I'm saying is that do not share the stories yourself, because you are part of the problem if you share the fake news. When the Ghana crime never wrote about Unimark, some Unimark students posted it themselves and said, how true is this? You are asking who? You are part of the problem. You are sharing it. You are the vehicle. That is why in the defamation law, I told you I've been called to the bar. That is why in the defamation law, it is not just the one who defames that suffers any legal consequences. Even the man selling the newspaper by the roadside can be brought into the case because you are a part of the vehicle that spread that information about the person. Answer. Now you believe me. Let me go to the bar. The beer bar. So do not share until you know that the information is true. If you share it, you are part of the problem. You are even worse off than the one who created the story. Get that in your mind. Don't share it. You can ask about it. You can ask me or ask a friend, or that's your university. You should ask any of the authorities. And don't go on social media, join the people and share their posts and say, how true is this? But, the people maybe only 1,000 people saw it. On your platform, we have 500. On another person who shares with you, add another 500. We are contributing to spreading the false information.
You have to pay before they bring it.
Always check and cross-check. Fact-checking websites are there. I'm saying that this generation, you have everything at your disposal. You can't afford to fail. Otherwise, the generation that will come after the Alpha generation will question you the Gen Zs. Then check if other news sources are reporting the information. Another very critical, way of detecting that this is fake news is when other media houses are sharing it. But that in itself is not a total remedy. Because we've seen in the Chef Smith case, I'm giving it to you, on a platform created by Jumbo Spaces. So let's give it up for Jumbo Spaces for putting this together. So, my conclusion is that for fake news, everyone is affected. Okay? Everyone is affected. We are not the only one who is affected. You might have lost an uncle or an auntie or a family member, a distant family member, because of fake news, even without knowing. So let us all safeguard the media space. Alright? We need joint action. Everyone is involved. So we need joint action. And I'm saying that institutional interventions and individual support is very key. So institutions like Jumbo Spaces will do their best, but you, the individual, must do your best as well. Is that okay? Is that okay? So tell me, what are you taking away, apart from the lunch you get, what are you taking away from my discussion with you this morning? Just about 2 or 3, what you are taking away, and then we are done. So anyone who tells me what you are taking away, or you are not taking anything, that's not a good sign. The silence is not a good sign. Aha. Yeah.
He said, basically, I was going to say when you were saying, just fact check before you show.
Great. And then, my lady.
Thank you. So what I'm taking away is that you can be held liable for whatever you share, even if you're not the original source. So before you share something, verify it, fact check it, and look out for authenticity.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed my time sharing my knowledge with you this morning. I hope you did too. I'll leave you the answer.
For MozFest House, I would say you should challenge us to ensure that young people have a voice. MozFest House Kenya is special.
It's just an expression of fantastic.
It's on purpose, and it's brilliant.
It was an exciting space for imagination, exploration, and rethinking what Africa's digital...
He's not in. Yeah, press it, it will go. Hey, relax.
Are we each other?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can hear you. So we have our moderator and our panelists here. Can we give them a warm hand of applause? Thank you. Great Samuel. Thank you. So Lily. Thank you guys.
Hello guys. Good afternoon, how are you?
Yeah, fine.
Hello. Okay. Are you guys tired already? Are you having fun? Are you learning something?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get right to it. My name is Welcome Samuel, but many of you know me as Wanale Salvador, and today we'll be talking about a very important conversation as we get ready to
Give it a Hi, guys, can you please move forward a little and occupy the stage, the seats in front of you? Please. Hi, lady in pink. Yes, you. I would actually love to meet you first. Oh, hi. Wait for me. Yes. Thank you. Please, I need 2 more to fill this, please. You two are. Hi. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I would actually love to come. Hi, can you please hold this?
Sorry,
Thank you.
today
Really
I don't have a problem.
you are my paddy.
We already the work inside. So,
TV director or this and editing software.
I stream.
We see you guys.
Okay. Junior, I think you will have to give me some shake. Because I feel like a barbecue right now.
Let me see.
It's out to get me.
I think I've been interviewing a lot of young farmers. I used to host a game show, and a lot of people don't let me forget about it. But that was a long time ago. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kafui.
So my name is Yao Ofusu. This is actually my 10th year doing journalism. I was formerly at TV3, and then I left TV3 in August. But I'm yet to announce where I'm going to be next. So please hold on for that. But I mean, beyond that, I also have a podcast called The Haymaker, where I practically talk about some of Ghana's sports and events, and generally social life in Ghana, particularly from the 60s, 70s, and then the 80s. So, I mean, if you're interested in a bit of history about it, yeah.
All right. For those of you who may not know what I do, I'm also a media personality and a pop culture journalist. You find me doing some one or two things on Twitter. And when I'm not doing that, I sit on panels like this to ask questions. Amen? Okay, now let's get to the topic for the day. We are talking about ethical journalism standards and the media's responsibility during elections. Let me start off with Kafui. Kafui, you've been in the business for a very long time. I'm sure you've witnessed quite a number of...
And so our people will post it, and then the editor says, hold on, let's check. Is it being reported anywhere else that this has happened? I'm glad Noel said earlier, Noel was saying that one way of checking fake news is to see whether it's being reported elsewhere. It was reported nowhere. I went to Twitter. And normally Twitter will break news, and you will see who's following. Nobody was following it. It was fake news. So if you don't have your wits about you, you may end up spreading news that will cause a lot of confusion. And the same idea goes towards elections. Now, elections in Ghana is a zero-sum game. When I say it's a zero-sum game, our constitution gives all the powers to one party. So whoever wins is in control of the country for 4 years. From public toilets to presidential appointments. The president makes at least 3,000 appointments when he comes into power. All the state institutions are headed by the president's people. All the district chief executives are the president's people. All the municipal chief executives. So there's a lot of power. So there's a lot at stake in this election. Because whoever gets who wins runs the whole show. And so then you have to be careful. Do the right thing. That's what ethical journalism means to me. But doing the right thing means knowing the ethics. The Ghana Journalists Association has the ethics online. You can go and check on this. So you don't have to be a member of GK.
Yeah.
This is the right thing. Have your sources, give people a chance to respond to whatever accusations they have. Don't expose children to certain types of news, things like that. You can Google it, you find it, the GJA Code of Ethics. You can find it. But do the right thing forward.
Do the right thing. Okay. I'm sure you guys are taking do the right thing. I'll come back to Kafui on that. But yeah, let's talk about still under the conversation of doing the right thing and maintaining or staying committed to the ethics. During the election season, election period, there's a lot of pressure to put the news out.
Yeah.
The pressure to be the first to break.
Yeah.
I think 4 years ago, we witnessed some media houses wanting to be the first to show who has won the elections, and later they came back to put out a rejoinder to apologize for the mess up. So, how do you maintain it?
People will come to you for the news rather than having to have you wanting to break it to become the first. Because people know that you are credible and everything you're putting out is actually true.
Yeah.
And so the truth should be upheld always, more than accuracy. But the accuracy is also sometimes very important because sometimes you have the truth, but you may be scared to put it out because of certain things, you know. So maybe you go to a constituency, you go to a town or a polling station, and a brawl has broken out between maybe two of the major parties. And then you were there, you saw what happened and everything. And you could narrate everything that happened. But in that instance, you feel like that could bring some kind of friction amongst maybe you look at it in a certain way. But if you look at it objectively, you realize that there's another way to it than there is to what you're looking at now. And that is one of the main problems that I have with our country at the moment. Because the thing is that a lot of people are disgruntled with the ruling party. You understand? A lot of people. Nobody is, I mean, not nobody, but a lot of people are not happy with the ruling party. And so the littlest form of miscommunication or misinformation that comes out about the ruling party, everybody just goes with it because, yeah, I mean, you know, they've done this, they've done that, so let's just accept the news. But I feel like we always need to check, sometimes 3-4 times before we put out the news, because the truth should always matter more than anything else. And the truth shouldn't be told in-house. Because sometimes you told the truth, but it's not all of the truth. So the truth should be told whole, so that your story would be a well-researched story and a proper story that would not have you leaning to one side or leaning to the other side, but telling the story whole as it is.
Okay. Yes, so bounce on quickly on what Yao said about using common sense when you are reporting. So 2 days ago on GTV we had Reverend Andrews, popularly known as Osofo Shreposo.
You know, and they tend to shape public opinion faster and quicker than what traditional media may put out. Now, most of us here now consume our news on digital media, right? Out of which we've had a number of bloggers, you know, find some level of responsibility, or should I say find a level of what should we call it? They find a level of belonging in spreading the news, but they don't pay attention to the fact or the principle that they also contribute to the public opinion that is being shaped by what they put out there. How do we fix this? How do we purify or consecrate, you know, the system such a way that they are not, you know, 50 seconds away from the time?
Not every news is breaking news. Not every headline has to be screaming and sensational. We understand the whole clicks, the clickbait thing, you know. Most people will read, and it's not just in the online space. If you observe how people consume newspapers at the newsstand, people gather at the newsstand and all they read are the headlines.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, the best headline creators in Ghana are those who work at Daily Guide. They have the best headlines. Sometimes screaming, but they always catch your attention. And people can just carry their news based on headlines, which would be deceptive and quite wrong.
Yes.
Because sometimes the headline doesn't match the story. Yeah. So I think these rules will also apply to bloggers. So I don't like to advise people because people either take it or they don't. So this is just a note to the bloggers. You can always just check out what the ethics of the profession are. You know, if you don't want to read the GJA Code of Ethics, just go to ChatGPT and say, what are the ethics of being a good journalist? And Chat will tell you, this is what you should do. And then just do it. And because in some countries there are laws against spreading. So radio is now becoming more like TV. And TV is becoming like radio. And everything is all kind of melding together. And we are visual people. So you see first before you hear. And listen, the traditional houses like TV3, GTV, we also have our online stuff. And we are putting out the flyers as well.
Yep.
we are not just doing screening stuff, but we're also going out there and we realize that
So I feel like we all need to take responsibility for how we do these things. If you see a digital card or a news card from TV3, please go to TV3 social media and check whether it's there. And check. If you see it from GTV, go there and check whether it's there. And then that way you know that it's credible enough for you to share. And I think that, like I was saying, the accuracy is all part of this thing. Because WhatsApp status. That's how you run with these things. But I feel like checking it a few times is going to help.
You see, Canva is, everybody has Canva now.
Yes.
So anybody can do these cards.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine runs Capital Radio in Kumasi, and he's having, and Capital Radio in Kumasi is purely music. I mean, their slogan is the heart of music. I don't think current affairs and news.
To do with the organized labor allegedly receiving some money.
2 billion.
2 billion.
I saw that too.
This was being peddled by government's opposition, right? Using news ad to peddle this misinformation. Now, this leads to my question as we head into the elections. How do we combat this from social media? We all have to
our attention. Yes, there are certain newspapers that I don't even review as part of the headlines because it's just a